Good evening, everybody. This is 9 Hotel 1 Foxtrot Bravo Sierra. My name is Charles, and tonight, or this evening, our time, I'm going to be conducting or hosting this 9H-HAM GlobalNet. A pause. First of all, welcome to everybody, and I encourage you to participate in this net this evening. I would like to thank the trustees of 9H-1 and also 9H-1 for letting us use the repeaters for this net this evening. This is a directed net, and so all communications should go through net control, who happens to be me. So, do we have any announcements before we proceed with check-ins? Please call now, twice, phonetics and name.
Nine Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha, Anthony. 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha, Anthony.
Good evening, Net Control. This is 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra. Name is Trevor. 9H5TS.
You're going too fast. Hold on a sec. Hold on a second.
Bye, no problem.
Can you say your name again, please?
If you're referring to me, Net Control, this is 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra. I repeat, 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra, and the name is Trevor. Tango Romeo Echo Victor Oscar Romeo. Trevor is the name, as usual. Jerry, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Any more? Do we have any more check-ins, please?
Nine Hotel 5 Lima Radio, Manuel. 9 Hotel 5 Lima Radio, Manuel.
9 Henry 5 Tango Bravo, 9H5TB.
Chris, 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima.
We had a slight problem there. I had two stations calling at once, and I didn't understand anyone. So try again, please. The 9H5 station, please come again.
Lima Radio, it's Manuel.
Thank you. Who is next, please? This is 9H1 FBS. So far we have 9H5 Foxtrot Alpha, Anthony, 9H5 Tango Sierra, Trevor, 9H5 Lima Radio, Manuel. Do we have any more check-ins? Please come now.
November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey.
Nine H5 Tango Bravo, Ray.
Yankee 4 Delta Zulu, Dennis.
Guys, you're going too fast. I have to write them down. The 4 station, please come again.
Kilo Yankee 4 Delta Zulu, Dennis.
Kilo Yankee 4. The last 2 letters again, please. I'm a bit slow today, sorry.
No problem. Delta Zulu, over.
Copy, Dennis. Do we have any more checkers? Please call 9H-1FBS. Oh, so far so good. I'm going to ask Trevor, what time do you intend to give your presentation, Trevor? Over. Hotel 5 Tango Sierra, 9H-1FBS. Do you copy? Henry 5 Tango Sierra, 9 Hotel 1 Foxtrot Bravo Sierra. Do you still copy me? Over.
GSNet control, I had a quick hit on the radio here and I clicked the wrong setting and I was muted from the radio. I'll repeat what I said to nobody. I'm all yours tonight, so you let me know, Net Control, and see what's the best schedule for you guys. Maybe you want to give everyone around to say the announcements, and then you just let me know what you wish to know from my end, and we can have a nice chat about it as you wish. I'm all yours tonight, so I just came from Marl, and left a bit early, so I can be with you guys. 9-5 TS, back to you, Net Control.
Thank you very much. Okay, so let's proceed to give everybody a turn. 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha. Go ahead with your transmission, 9H-1FBS.
H-1FBS, this is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Thank you. Good evening and good evening and good afternoon, depending on what part of the world everyone is in. First of all, thanks for hosting the net and this evening. We had some interesting events this week, very interesting events, and we'll hear more about them later today. So basically, I'm sitting here, very eager to hear what additional information our friend who is on the net at the moment, 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra, has to tell us about this event, which happened this week, and I'll let him talk about it. Back to you, that control. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Roger, Roger, thank you for your transmission. 9 Hotel 5 Lima Radio. Would you like to say a few words to us, Manuel?
Hello, Net Control. I give you the good evening, and everyone who is on the net tonight. I wish to say congratulations for the achievement of what Trevor and his team done the other day. I keep it short, so I give most of the time for Trevor to discuss their achievement. 9 Hotel 1 Foxtrot Bravo Sierra, this is 9 Hotel 5 Lima.
Roger, Roger, yes, I was listening on YouTube and I was genuinely impressed. And my computer keeps doing certain things which it's not supposed to do. So let's pass it over to Ray. Maybe you would like to say to introduce yourself and say a few words, and then we will take more check-ins after the list is completed. 9 Hotel 5 Tango Bravo, 9H-1 FVS with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet.
Net Control, thank you, Charles, for hosting this session this evening. For the benefit of our colleagues who have no idea of what we're talking about the successful attempt by the local club, Marl, in setting up a connection with the ISS station and giving the opportunity for the students in one of our colleges there to actually interact with one of the astronauts there in the station itself. So, like my fellow colleagues and like Manuel just said, I will keep it short, but I was following it on YouTube from my office, and I was proud to be Maltese. Good work, guys. I mean, I was really out of myself. It's really a great event, and I think all of us were impressed with the hard work. It showed there was a lot of effort that was put into it to put up such a great achievement. I'll stop there, and I'm happy to listen to what Trevor there has in store for us. Maybe the behind the scenes there to actually add to all the excitement that we went through. Okay, back to you, Net Controller. This is 9 Henry 5 Tango Bravo with the group.
Thank you, Ray. I'm going to pause for a moment here. Do we have any more check-ins for the 9H-HAM GlobalNet? This is 9 Hotel 1 Foxtrot Bravo Sierra, standing by for a few seconds.
9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima, name is Chris. 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima.
As I don't have access to QRZ at the moment, can you give us your name, please? 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima.
This is 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima, name is Chris. Chris Charlie Hotel Romeo India Sierra. Chris Charlie Hotel Romeo India Sierra. Back to Net Control.
Thank you, Chris. Do we have any more check-ins? So now I give the microphone to, it appears that there's nobody wants to check in at the moment. Maybe they're all listening. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Jerry, take it away.
Okay, very good, Charlie. Good evening to you and everybody on the net. Good afternoon. Nice to hear everybody, and I hope everybody is doing well. You caught me buttering my toast. It's a nice day. Snow on the ground, more snow coming. It is winter. And congratulations to everybody who participated in that link with the International Space Station. It was great. And I might have a question later, but not right now. So I'll pass it back to Net Control, and thank you for doing the net, Charlie. 9H-1 FBS with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, 9 Hotel 1 Fox Bravo Sierra returning. For all who don't know, Jerry and I are brothers, so I took the net this evening so he could have time to have breakfast, HI. Anyway, enough of that. It's over to you now, Dennis. KY4, Kilo Yankee 4 Delta Zulu, 9 Hotel 1 Foxtrot Bravo Sierra. Go ahead.
This is KY4DZ. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's having a nice day. I'm in New Kent, Virginia, and we've been having a very warm day today for a February date. It's nearly about 70 degrees here today, sunny and bright, very nice. Our ham radio club, Williamsburg Area Amateur Radio Club, WAARC, had our monthly meeting on Tuesday, and one gentleman came. He used to be a member of the club, but has since moved away. He came and did a presentation on his visit to Malta and the visit to y'all's radio clubs there. Some absolutely wonderful photographs of the island and all the historic places and your clubs setups, your antennas and everything. It was very, very entertaining and made me want to be able to take another trip to Malta. My wife and I were there a couple of years ago, but we only had a day off of a cruise ship, and I know there's so much more to be taken in there. So hopefully we'll be able to do that again sometime. If anybody's ever able to get on Echo Link at about 9 a.m., that's Eastern Standard Time American, the KB4ZIN repeater, KB4ZIN repeater, Williamsburg Area Radio Club, 9 o'clock every morning. We have a coffee and radio net, and anybody and everybody's welcome. No tones required, and would love to hear from some folks in Malta since the presentation. I'm sure some other folks in our club would be more than happy to hear communications from you all. So that's about it for me. I'll turn it back over to Net. Thanks for running it, and enjoy listening to you all. Oh, by the way, one of our club members organized and put together an ISS contact with an elementary school in the Williamsburg area some years ago, Dino Pappas, KL0S, and he's shown us a presentation of that and everything that went into it, and the contact and all that, and it was really, really interesting. So I'm sure you guys have had just as wonderful experience with that. My best to everybody. KY4DZ, back to Net.
Dennis, do you spell it with a double N or with one N?
It's two N's, DENNIS, over.
Okay. Well, stick around because we have a presentation by Trevor, who helped, I think it was involved quite a bit in this contact with the space station. So stick around, and then maybe you'll give us the repeater again when it's your turn. And I have quite a good amount of time. 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern is like 3 o'clock in the afternoon here, so there's no big problem. So let's pass it over to Chris, 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima, 9H-1 FBS. Go ahead, Chris.
(9H-1 SBS) from 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima. Unfortunately, I missed the event with Mark contacting the ISS, as my wife Georgiana had undergone a series of medical procedures, and we are only now home, so and she's doing well. So now I can catch up with what went through Trevor's presentation. Also, I've been trying to get DroidStar to work for me. I subscribed to TGIF network and Radio ID and got the DMR ID. But I'm not going anywhere, so maybe someone could help me set it up. So next time I can join the net through DroidStar. So it's good to try something new. Anyway, back to net control, 9H-1 FBS from 9 Hotel 1 Tango Lima, Chris.
I'm sure that Trevor will explain or will tell you how to listen to the event on YouTube. I hope that your wife is much better now, and that everything is going well for you, my friend. Okay, now let's do this again. See if there's anybody else want to join in. This is 9 Hotel 1 Foxtrot Bravo Sierra with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet standing by for check-ins. Please use the phonetic alphabet twice and your name.
9 Hotel 1 Sierra Fox stroke Delta Lima, 9 Hotel 1 Sierra Fox stroke Delta Lima, and the operator here side will be Stephen. Good evening, net control, 9 Hotel 1 FBS. Microphone back to you.
Thank you. Do we have any more check-ins, please? Stephen, maybe you could make a short transmission before we pass the microphone to Trevor so he could give his presentation. 9 Hotel 1 Sierra Fox, 9H-1 FBS.
Okay, very good, Charles. 9 Hotel 1 FBS. This is 9 Hotel 1 Sierra Fox stroke Delta Lima. Good evening to everyone, and thank you once again, Charles, for looking after the net, and greetings to everyone. I won't keep it any longer. I just wanted to say a quick hello, and also well done to Trevor for yesterday's event there. I was monitoring on the frequency also, and I have a recording of all what I could hear anyway, because I could not hear the students, but the space station I did copy 100% all the way from the beginning to the very end with no problems. So I'll just say 73 to all, and greetings to everyone as well. So microphone back to you, net controller, and I will be just listening just for a little bit more longer and then disconnect. 9 Hotel 1 FBS from 9 Hotel 1 Sierra Fox stroke Delta Lima.
Okay, very good, Steve. Very good, Stephen. Thank you very much for your transmission. Just before I really pass it over to Trevor, do we have any more check-ins for the 9H-HAM GlobalNet? This is 9H-1 FBS. That they all would like to hear you, Trevor, so the floor is yours. Remember to leave, to pause every 2 minutes or something like that so that we can recycle the repeater. And I know I would like also to join my colleagues, because it was a very, it wasn't an event, it was a very moving event, and I was really very happy, and also found myself imagining what it would be like to be one of those students who were asking the questions. So I'll open the floor to you and take it away. 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra, this is 9 Hotel 1 Foxtrot Bravo Sierra, Net Control 9H-HAM GlobalNet, standing by.
Yes, hello, good evening. This is 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra. Trevor here. Thank you very much for the invitation, Tony and the team, and the grand support that we received from all of you, all members of MARL, members of the Marconi Amateur Radio Circle, freelance amateur radios as well, who are not really affiliated with any club. It's been fantastic. And yeah, it's been quite an opportunity like never one before. I mean, the excitement is still there, evidently, as you can hear it. And I'm just getting messages. We were on One News and TVM just a few short minutes ago. So I have messages still pouring in on my phone. And that's a good thing for research and innovation, a push into research and innovation, as well as space sciences and, you know, amateur radio being there at the forefront of all these sciences for the whole of Malta. So that was fantastic. I'd like to start by mentioning credits of who the RS team MT are. There's Dominic at top party, 9 Hotel 1 Mike, who was in charge of RF and systems engineering, 9 Hotel 1 Golf Whiskey, Emmanuel Grech, and the MARL president was you've seen him on YouTube at administering and logistics of children and the RF transmissions, educational presentations. 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra, that's myself. I was responsible, and I'll give you more details later, on the YouTube broadcasting and producing the redundant RF setup, live stream and the IT logistics. 9 Hotel 2 Alpha Victor, which is Andrew Vella, Andrew Vella was responsible for antenna setup, support, and even the event moderation on chat moderation, because we had people incoming on chat on YouTube Live. And of course, a mention of 9 Hotel 2 Alpha Sierra, Anthony Cicluna, for supporting logistics and supporting the whole event. So that was fantastic. And we have also shortwave listener Carl Bugeya, who participated a lot in IT support, IT networks and technical configuration, as well as the management of audio, both during the event and as well what was going out into my PC and then onto YouTube Live. And we have SWL Neville at Sopardi, who was the cameraman from FR, not the camera which was near me. I was handling that as well, and the video recording on site. We have SWL Richard Gallia, who did the professional camera setup and event recording from beginning to end. That's an offline recording, just in case our connection went offline. And SWL Nirvana Grima, who took care of professional photography on site. So with that, just a bit of a break, and I can explain later what the feeling is at this very moment. 9H5PS standing by. Hotel 5 Tango Sierra Trevor, continuing with the presentation. For those who are not yet aware or might not have the details yet, we had a scheduled scheduled contact with the International Space Station back in December, actually, which resulted in a huge disappointment for the reason being that in the very last 24 hours, so that means we did the rehearsals, we had all equipment at Stella Maris School on site. We were scheduled to contact astronaut Koichi Wakata from JAXA on the ISS. JAXA is the Japanese NASA. And yeah, in the very last 24 hours, we got an email from Dominic, who's the RS coordinator for Malta, telling us, listen guys, this is the news. We've been removed from the schedule of contact. and you kind of, at the moment think or hope it's some nasty joke, which we did have running around, but not as nasty as a cancellation, But unfortunately, it was the reality. It was December. Aris gave us another orbit, but it was in Christmas. It was very logistically difficult for the school to hold. And we said, listen, guys, let's forget it. We were very, very stressed. We needed the rest, and we left it there. The idea was in quarter one, sometime quarter one or quarter two of 2023, we would do another run and see from there. And, we had Christmas, New Year, all festive and holidays. And there came the next orbit lock. And the orbit lock was specific on the 15th February, right? The astronaut was changed. By the way, the first cancellation, one day after, they only give us details that tell us the ISS crew suddenly became unavailable. But one day later, there was the news that the Soyuz capsule on board the ISS started leaking into space. So maybe speculatively, that might have been something, of a high priority thing to do. These contacts are not high priority for ISS, but they're done nonetheless, and this cancellation is quite rare, but, we experienced that anyway. Fast forward, 15 February, astronaut changed. It was astronaut Joshua Cassada from NASA this time. As you know, ISS consists of various astronauts coming from various parts of the world. That's why it's an international space station. I think it's the pinnacle of humanity cooperating with each other and forget all these petty wars and conflicts. And even the astronauts themselves keep saying it's a beautiful sight from up here, and it's one ball uniting us all, right, as a planet Earth. But anyway, without getting too emotional on that side of things, or too philosophical, the contact happened, and we're on the news, and you can find us on YouTube. The event was live with live chats, and now it is recorded there on YouTube forever for your enjoyment and distribution. It's a first for Malta in the sense of a school contact, not a ham contact, because as a ham you can have to go and try to contact ISS, and if the astronauts are free, they say hi, and that's fantastic. But having it as a school contact with the questions, children posing, sending questions to the astronaut, and having them answered by a real astronaut up in space. I mean, it hits you, in a very special way, And Stella Maris, it was at this very moment they realized, as soon as they saw people coming in and the media so interested, they realized this is even bigger than they ever could have thought. 9H-HAM is giving a bit of a break on the repeater. Standing by.
I may make a remark. Can you talk a bit slower, please?
Sure thing, net control. Sure thing, no problem. The excitement is still there, I guess. The excitement is still there. And yeah, so I was saying, the event is on YouTube. If you want to look it up, you can watch it as if you were there with us. On YouTube, you have to look for Trevor Samud. That's my name and surname. I'll repeat it. Trevor, Tango, Romeo, Echo, Victor, Oscar, Romeo. Trevor is the name, and the surname is Samud. I will spell it. Sierra, Alpha, Mike, Uniform, Tango. Right? So Trevor Samud, S-A-M-M-U-T. And as soon as you search, you can even search on YouTube by entering Stella Maris College Gzira ISS, or even if you enter Malta ISS contact. And I'm happy to you also get in the results a number of ham radio operators in the UK and Italy, even with a handheld, who actually heard the astronauts Josh Cassada answering the questions of the students in the school. So we made quite a hit. I'm very happy to see that the media really took the topic at heart. They really loved it, and it's on a national scale. It's going quite viral, I must say. The YouTube counters are going up, and it's a big impact on the ham radio community for us all licensed ham radio operators and science and physics enthusiasts and radio enthusiasts. And yeah, it's in a nutshell. I'm trying to compress two facts. It's there, but I'm open to questions, and I can give you, any trivias or nitty-gritties and cliffhangers, especially the first minute until the astronaut came in, and interesting findings that we found as well, including Doppler, believe it or not, including Doppler. Many say you have to do or not do Doppler, but we can talk about that later, and we can explain what we found out using the antenna. So I'll pass the microphone back to you, Net Control, and I'm open for any questions or queries. No problem. I have time, so there's no rush from my end. So I'm with you guys, and thank you very much for the support once again. All ham radio operators, whichever club they may be affiliated or not. I've had greetings from everyone, and I'm so happy to see such a strong community spirit, and the ham radio operators, the 9H ham radio operators, and as well those our friends abroad as well. But it's understandable. I feel very excited to see that everyone was on the same boat and giving so much support, and they even supported us when we were cancelled in December, and now the support is continuous with the success that we had, and you can see everything on YouTube Live as well. Back to you, Net Control. This is 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra Trevor with you here on the Hamnet.
Boy, you're really still excited, man. You should have seen me. A 70-year-old man dancing around the room. So, for the benefit of our friend Dennis, I will spell the name of the school. It is Sierra Tango Echo Lima Alpha Stella Maris Mike Alpha Romeo India Sierra, and the name of the town is Gzira. Golf Zulu India Romeo Alpha. And if you didn't take that down, you can search for Trevor Samut. Tango Romeo Echo Victor Oscar Romeo Sierra Alpha Mike Uniform Tango. For the sake of not everybody doing the questions all at once, maybe we can line up and see who has questions first. Anybody who has, I know that N7APW has a question, so I took note of that. Is there anybody else who would like to make a question or question Trevor? I'm getting excited too here. Sorry about that, gents. 9H-1FBS standing by. Please state your call sign, and then we'll proceed. Okay, so far so good. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, 9 Hotel 1 Fox Bravo Sugar. Can you put your question, please?
Very good, Charlie. 9 Hotel 1 Fox Bravo Sugar with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Excuse me. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. I was wondering, Trevor, whether the school has plans or has thought about keeping the station intact and inviting perhaps other students from other schools to also have a contact with the amateur radio on the International Space Station. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, back to Net Control.
Well, I know that they used to have a station, an HF station there, but I don't know if they have whether they have a permanent station. Over to you, Trevor.
This is 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra Trevor returning on the repeater. Thank you for the question. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey and Net Control for passing the mic. The radio stations on site, they used to have an HF radio station. I am informed by 9 Hotel 1 Mike and confirmed by Net Control. But it's presumably deassembled or decommissioned. Of course, we created this dilemma, and I'm very happy to say we created this dilemma of this fantastic hobby. And maybe a rethink on the school side as well, because all the equipment was all of IRIS member or IRIS team MT. So all of the IRIS members, us, the organizers, including network switching, network equipment, radio, antenna, motorized antenna, cabling, even coaxial cabling, even several of the basic stuff which we saw as substandard and needed to supply ourselves. So essentially on site, the PC, I had the Ryzen 9 PC with the AMD 69080 XT ready to process the graphics and handle the on-site stuff, plus the streams, plus the webcams, plus the camera feeds that I had coming in, captured through an Elgato hardware supplied by Kyle, one of the team members. So everything was supplied by volunteers. So essentially on site we had thousands of euros of equipment, the radios themselves, and now we dismantled everything. It took us 2 days to set up. With experience, maybe we shrunk it down to 1 day and a half. We even had generators on site in case of a power failure, and 9 Hotel 1 Mike, being the engineer that he is, the brilliant engineer that he is, constructed an automatic switchover that takes milliseconds to switch from generator automatically, because the excitement is so high on site that you just have no time to switch any cable of any sort or anything. So even HDMI switchers, video switchers, everything was automated if something would have happened. So the school is essentially as it was before we went in, and that's food for thought. And on stage I did mention it, that these STEM events, the science, technology, engineering and math events, are of utmost importance. You need to invest in schools, so schools are enabled through their administration, especially because the teachers and the students themselves are so excited. The students, you don't even need to push that hard because they're already savvy on the subject and look up stuff and learn, and even their teachers. Yeah, it's food for thought throughout. But to answer your question directly, maybe they'll consider it, but they have no equipment. Absolutely. So the hall is completely empty now. Once again, 9H-5TS. Back to you, Net Control.
Thank you very much. Very well done. Is there anybody else who would like to pose a question to Trevor?
9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
9 Hotel 5 Lima Radio.
Net Control recognizes 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha and 9 Hotel 5 Lima Radio. Anthony, go ahead with your question.
This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Thank you, Net Control. Trevor, perhaps can you tell us something about your antenna setup? I understand you had a rotating antenna. At least that was what was shown on YouTube. So perhaps you could tell us something about that, please. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Go ahead, Trevor.
Yes, Tony, yes. The antenna is a 14-element Yagi, VHF, and UHF. Why did we have both? Because as a backup, the ISS might have gone crossband. So we were prepared for that. And the whole antenna setup is motorized. It's motorized in all directions and controlled via software. We used PCSAT32, I believe, on Windows. The control part was over at Dominic and backup on with Manuel, so they would have more details than I would. In the initial stages, we tested it as well on the Linux system, and it did work well. So one of the things, that's why you have to test. I have this AMD machine by Minutes Forum next to me, which I use on Jitsi and right now on radio all the time. And it's a new machine, multi-core hyper-threaded machine. But we so discovered that in such a setup with those amplifiers, with the antenna setup, with the motorized controller, probably the power supply of the machine generated noise, and it was such a pesky noise, persistent, and it was at that moment where it was decided that I would change the machine completely, and I shifted to my large, the main station, which I use for gaming mostly, and heavy processing. And noise was a factor that we were really checking up all the time. But the antenna, yes, it's a EA4. I think it's an EA4TX control box, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's a EA4TX.com antenna rotor system. And yeah, the software does a lot of the magic. In the sense, we were very scared that it would not flip around correctly or do a flip midway. So so that means if there's an ISS path, right, going from northeast to the other side, and it would flip in the middle to continue the sky arc. We did not want that because a flip of such a giant antenna would take almost a minute, but the software compensates for that. So it kind of gets prepared, if necessary, kind of upside down, ahead of the path, so the path does it in one continuous sweep. So we were happy to see that, and that was actually software magic doing its thing. Similar to astronomy setups, where you have a star or a planet and you wish to follow it, or a galaxy. So you need to follow it in accordance with the motion to cancel the motion of the Earth. So that worked well for us. So I hope that answers your questions, Tony. 9H-HAM, back to you, Net Control.
Very much. Does that satisfy you, Anthony?
9H-5 Foxtrot Alpha. Yeah, of course it does. I was wondering, I mean, how they managed to get the maximum overhead sweep. So that explains it, I mean, the antenna was actually tracking the ISS, so you could get the whole overhead path from start to end, right? Yeah. One other small thing. What power were you using to transmit? Back to you, Net Control.
Go ahead, Trevor. He has two questions. How much power did you put out?
Okay, this is 9H-5 here. Power was locked at around 40 watts, but truly and really, if you calculate the ERP, we were almost 1,000 there, I would say, because the antenna had such huge gain and directionality that it was, doing the job of assuring us that even the faintest signal from ISS would have been received at a very good signal. And I think on YouTube, all of this can be heard because the audio quality was absolutely spot on. Just a bit of noise in the beginning for a few seconds and at the very end. And the path itself, we managed to extend it to 9 minutes and I had the values here somewhere, but I got so much screens. I think it was 9 minutes and a few seconds there, which was optimal pass value, minus the buildings. You have to keep in mind the buildings, they're in Xira, which do have an effect, but it was a continuous communication from end to end of the pass. 9H-5TS, back to you, net control.
Thank you very much. Now, I'll give the microphone to Manuel. 9 Hotel Lima Romeo, 9H-1FBS. Go ahead, Manuel.
Thank you, net control. My question probably is a silly one. How did you manage to stop other ham callers transmitting on the same frequency, not to interfere your sessions? Probably you use different frequencies. That's my question, net control. 9 Hotel 5 Lima Radio.
Very good. 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra. Go ahead, Trevor.
Yes, Manuel, good question. It was, of course, QRM or intended interference would have been a pity, but I'm happy to say that there was none of such interference, natural or produced QRM, and I'm very happy to say that, because it might have ruined everything, but maybe not again because of the type of antenna and the arrangement we had with the ISS. So they have their usual downlink, but from ISS side, the uplink is kept as a secret till the very last moment. And we were on edge to receive the uplink, and you get a backup uplink, and then you can also go crossband. But these are given through the ARIS team, through the arrangements that you do on such a scheduled pass. Given that the antenna was so directional and so huge, it was a huge assurance for us. It was a huge assurance for us. But it's a bonus plus where all local hams or whoever had radios listened, and the frequencies were kept often clear. And if should there have been any interference, say from Sicily side or a country nearby, that would not have affected such a directional antenna at the end. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question, Manuel. 9H-5TS, back to you, net control.
Yes, well, if I may make a remark, that would have been a pity if interference was made either on purpose or accidentally. But, excuse me. Fortunately, as you said, I was listening on YouTube and the transmission was extremely clear. Do we have any more questions, please, or anybody else who would like to join the net? This is 9H1 Foxtrot Bravo Sierra with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet.
ISTB with a question.
The net recognizes 9 Hotel 5 Tango Bravo. Go ahead with your question, please, Ray.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Net Control. Once again, Trevor, Proset, very well done there, and mega huge. I cannot put to words. I'm still quite excited about it. Just one question, Trevor. What's next? Go ahead.
Okay, net control to answer.
to make a nasty remark, but I better keep it. I think we should give you some time to rest before you do something else. Go ahead with your answer.
Yes, it's a very good question, Ray. A tongue-in-cheek one as well, thank you very much for the comments and the support and for the comments on YouTube. The idea was to make such a scientific event cinematic, that gives you emotion, that drives the people's emotion as the event progressed, and everyone was on the edge of the seat. The beacon worked marvel, where I switched on the beacon and everyone was totally silent and quiet. They even switched their phone to flight mode. I saw people funding with their phone. The idea was so that the phones don't ring, really and truly, because QRM from phones was going to be very unlikely on those frequencies. But it was a little very useful exercise that we exercised on stage through the light. Because remember, while the astronauts are speaking, you cannot tell people or little kids to be quiet, right? Because the astronauts are speaking and you create your own QRM in the hall. But as soon as they saw the beacon, everyone was like, little soldiers. And well done to the kids there. What's next? The question is, what's next? We're still recovering from the adrenaline rush we had, because the adrenaline rush boost was an overdose version of it. I'm sure Foxtrot Alpha I can explain the chemistry behind it there, but it's something real. We have some ideas. We do have some ideas related to radio and astronomy. You see, the issue is not the issue. It's a positive issue. That sometimes when we brainstorm together, and I meet with especially 9 Hotel 1 Mike, Dominic, he has this knack of enabling kind of these fantasies of ours with the necessary hardware that sometimes you need to find, such as running a simulation at Mars, for those of you who remember the simulator of the whole universe that I have on my machine. So we'll see what we can do. We definitely left an impact on schools. We've been contacted by other schools already who want some type of scientific event related to radio and the sciences that we touch upon. Do they have the necessary equipment, the logistics? We'll see. I think it's too early for us. We need a breather, as Net Control said. But I don't exclude anything, because we as a wonderful team of these people that I've mentioned, we can do a lot. It took a lot of energy, a lot of personal leave, and my 25-year anniversary was spent in Stella Maris. So we have our families to back us up as well, and they're involved directly and indirectly all the time. So yeah, we'll see what next, Ray. We'll see what next. I don't think this would be a final thing that we just did, and that is just it. So we'll see what the future holds. But I think it's pretty bright. 9H-5TS, back to you, Net Control.
And H1 Jeopardy, more frequency.
Trevor, does the astronomical club or group still exist at Stella Maris College?
Net Control, the answer is yes. They're very active. I was very happy to have Brother David, who was the pioneer of the Space Club. They used to call it the Space Club. And the Astronomical Society is well alive and kicking. And they were invited to attend the event as well. And I'm happy to say some members did attend. And they've offered a lot of support as well. Stella Maris was always, a pioneer in providing even premises for the Astronomical Society, which I'm a member of, by the way, as well. And I look forward to seeing these clubs collaborate and schools collaborate. I think collaboration on this tiny island is key. And given that we have limited resources, at the same time, as people of Malta, I think we're very resourceful and very, very knowledgeable. We can solve problems quite in a effective way. So that's what I look forward to. And yes, the Astronomical Society is very well alive. In fact, yesterday I was still pumped, and they had an event for members, Astronomical Society members, near St. Magdalene Church in Dingley, and they had an observation night, and I could see with my own naked eyes through a telescope, but I could see the comet leaving us, only to revisit us in the next, within 50,000 years. So until that time, I managed to see it this time round. 9H-5DS, back to you.
Just for ID, this is the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. This is 9H-1FBS, net control. Is there anybody else who would like to join now with us? Please give us your call sign and name, phonetically. Recognizes 9 Hotel 1 Japan Lima, Juliet Lima. Anybody else would like to join? Joe, we are having a question and answer session. Would you like to take the microphone and make a question, or are you satisfied with what you're listening to?
Okay, 9H1 Japan Lima with the group. Good evening, everybody. Well, satisfied would be a very big understatement. Because it's a fabulous thing that has happened, and now that it has happened and transpired, very big well done to Trevor and all the team, because it was a team effort. And definitely that team really did its job very well indeed. Okay, and even the children, they were very well informed. They were very well informed. It has taken a lot of work to produce this end result. So yes, Trevor, I just understand the very tip of it regarding your satisfaction and your feeling of adrenaline at this time after the event has been concluded. So yes, and hi Raider, heard you break in there. Was going to break in myself. And what's next? Well, give them some time, my friend. They have to take things, everything in its stride. Okay, very good there. I've sent the links of the live streaming to our friend and before WB4PVT Charlie. I thought maybe he would be on frequency today with you guys, but I don't know if he's been on earlier on. But anyway, everything has been forwarded to him, so he might get in touch with you, Trevor. Of course, with that article that he was planning to put up for you. So that would be another boost for you guys. Over to Trevor, and yes, regarding the antenna and all that, it all worked well, and I even followed your video, but in the aftermath, because at that time of your schedule, I had other commitments. So quick one to you, Trevor, there. And so you see, you've taken out all the stuff over there. But Stella Mornis has been very active for quite a long time. 9H5 Tango Sierra, 9H1 Japan Lima.
Not round table, Joe. Go ahead, Trevor.
Thank you for the comments, everyone, Judith Lima included, and thank you for joining the net. I'd like to thank you all, and Tony and all the organizers of this HAMnet as well, because you've brought the ham radio community together and very much alive. And I see that as per schedule, there's always quite a number of us here, and I'm very pleased to join you on Jitsi as much as I possibly can, and join you on the radio as well, and Echolink. And last time I was mobile. And now that I remember, I was on my way to Dingley. And by the way, I did not manage to see the comet. I was overly zealous to be able to even see the comet if there wasn't any overcast clouds, which there was, and there was the moon, so it was absolutely impossible. But yesterday I did see it through the telescopes of the Astronomical Society. Julius Lim, I don't know your question specifically. Did you ask a specific question to me, or was it commentary at most? Maybe I missed the question, so if you can repeat it directly, I'll be happy to answer. Go ahead.
Okay, that's regarding the equipment, if they have any equipment available. I believe you said that they have an old defunct HF station over there. But for this sort of thing, you need your own stuff. So I do suggest that you use your own equipment, because that makes you more familiar with your equipment than having to get to you to learn how to use other equipment. But just a suggestion that, of course, I won't be the one to be the boss of it, actually, but having Dominic over there oversee all the things, he is quite competent to take care of all the equipment needed, as you have now experienced yourself. No, just quick positive comments. That's all I wanted to say. Trevor, to yourself.
Yes, thank you for the clarification there. It was just a quick to and fro net control just to see what the question was. Yes, equipment, absolutely right. To do, it's certain contacts, you need your own equipment, your own software nowadays to know exactly what the behavior of the equipment itself is. So that's one thing. And you need to, whatever equipment you have, I say this to all ham radio operators, I've toured the world on HF using my ISO 857, and we realized on site that I was the fastest at programming my ISO 857. The other radios were different. It was a big Yaesu. Using Yaesu logic, I could understand the split modes on the big radios, but it takes time. So in the case of an emergency or an antenna failing, we had a spare antenna. So yeah, it's you need to be well versed with the equipment. And in fact, I pre-programmed everything in my radio and left it at standby, so it's done, because I was taking care of the whole YouTube thing. I can give you a very quick run-through of the equipment that we used. So you have the VHF and UHF, directional motorized antenna. You have the motor control. You have, of course, the coaxial cables running, I would say, 20, 30 meters, even 40 meters to the rooftop, because you're in a school and the runs are quite extensive, and they have to be well engineered, crimped properly at the end, and the cable itself has to, have appropriate loss values, so that you don't lose too much of the signal through the run, as usual, as we learned in the ham radio curriculum, right? And PCs, of course. Would a laptop cut it? No way. On YouTube, on that quality, for a full HD, going at 30 frames per second with YouTube live chat, ongoing, rendering 3 or 4 video sources. We had the other YouTubes feeding into my machine, so that we can get a view from the sky showing down on Earth, and then using open broadcasters, creating scenes that change. As you could see, when the student spoke, you see the student. Then when you hear the astronaut, we had no visual of the astronaut, so instead I showed you the sky. We had the music ongoing. The music needs to be open source and copyright free. Otherwise, YouTube would knock your stream offline because there's a copyright issue on music, so you have to be really careful on the music selection. Plus, you want to evoke a spirit, an emotion. So the selection of the music has to be really, spot on. It needs to be there. Then you have the radios themselves, the main radio, which you're using to communicate. The main antenna we spoke about. We had a backup antenna, which was a turn-style spiky antenna that was not motorized, but it would have done the backup job, I suppose. We never got to use it. We did tested it on some satellites. It worked well as well. We had the backup, which was my Yaesu 857 Delta. It's the one I'm speaking to you right now. What else? We had tablets monitoring the YouTube chat, so that if we got some kind of idiot on the live chat, we did not have. But there was artificial intelligence playing on the YouTube chat, so anyone said anything nasty, he got automatically suspended. But the user saying anything nasty would not know, so it's just a waste of time for the user, but it will not appear in a child-friendly chat, right? So it's, that was something to think about logistically as well. So visualizing right now the equipment as well, we had power supplies. 1, 2, 3 power supplies, changeover switch, the generator, electrical cables, passing different foods from communication cables to avoid QRM, and a high-speed network connection. Ideally you get at least 30 megabits upload and a download of equivalent of 50 megabits or so, or 70. But the upload was quite a hefty requirement at that quality. But at the end, yes, we ended up testing some cables of the schools ourselves. Some of them failed. Dominic, again, being the brilliant engineer that he is, he also got the coax for the schools to pass us from the modem. The modem happened to be really far, far away. When with December, we were really worried about internet connectivity. I was also having discourse with Melita on how to get an extra connection just for this event, so that I can assure myself that I have a good connection to work with, right? So luckily, so sometimes there's a silver lining in everything. Because of the cancellation, the school kind of upped their game, and they fixed their internal network and improved it. So we had that peace of mind further improved. It wasn't perfect because the network was still a bit far away, and we had to engineer ourselves really on every aspect, I would say, on every aspect. I happen to say that the school audio was good. The school audio was good. Of course, we had to tweak it so that FM has this rustiness in it, so that it doesn't clip, it doesn't, clip itself into the ears of the audience or of the YouTube. Monitoring throughout the whole event so that on YouTube you'll hear it well. We had
I have the feeling that he was cut off. Are you still there, Trevor?
It's the repeater timeout, Charlie.
Well, now we'll just wait for a few seconds, no big problem. This is the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, and we are standing by for 9H5 Tango Sierra.
H5TS still here on the repeater. Sorry for the timeout there, my bad. I kept rambling and rambling. I think you got all the message, or just about. I was explaining a list. It's a long list of hardware requirements, cablings, MPC. Last part was about the Ryzen 9 CPU machine with a 69080 XT card, video card cooled by Noctua. You have to check, temperatures were optimal. I think it was, it turned out well. If you think about it, you always have some point of failure somewhere. And on that, I can give you some trivia. For example, Dominic had this PCT switch, which was a lift switch. You cannot get more robust than this kind of switch. This is a switch that the lift lands on to press on and off. It's a simple device. It failed. It failed during a rehearsal. We could not believe it, that such a robust military switch would fail. But, these things happen, and everything that you saw was, every setup was redundant somewhere, somehow. And still you managed to find, bottleneck somewhere. And the last bottleneck we observed was if we switch on generator, the school amplifier would go off. So in the last moment we switched it on generator as well. So everything was generatable. But of course the school projector plug was God knows where. So it was something. It was something of a kind. 9H-HAM here, returning microphone back to net control. Any other questions? I'm with you guys.
It's evident that it has been a very long session today. This is 9H-1FBS with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. I'm honored to be chairing this net this evening. Are there any more questions before we close the net, please? Over.
No question from me, Charlie, but I have another topic to bring up. November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey.
Let's just check for a few seconds if there's anybody else who would like to say something about the same subject before we go to another subject. Jerry.
Golf Stroke 9 Hotel 2 Alpha Sierra, standing by, listening, going.
Okay, do you have a question for Trevor? Golf Stroke 9 Hotel 2 Alpha Sugar.
This is Golf Stroke 9 Hotel 2 Alpha Sierra Anthony. Nsellem il-kulħat, nsellem il-Trevor u kollu proset dak li nistanajt. Okay, controller, Alik, yes, stand by, Oli. Thank you.
Our English-speaking people, he said he congratulated everybody and thanked everybody for the work. He did part of it as well because he was one of the backup team. Are there any more questions for Trevor? Please call 9H-1FBS.
Just one question for Trevor.
Can you say that again, Joe?
Just a quick question, nothing of a big importance. Were you operating transmission uplink on 144323? Because I believe I saw that frequency on the radio there, on the news brought up today. Trev, go ahead.
Okay, can you answer that, Trevor, or is it top secret frequency?
That was a frequency that was assigned to us at the event. It was just used for the school contact, and we had backup TX frequencies as well. Yeah, so that would be right. Yes, 95 TX. Back to you, net control.
I presume, Trevor, that they change frequencies for every contact they make with every school. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes, that is correct. They assign you a frequency at the very last moment, so you're even on edge. Everything keeps you on edge on such a project, everything. And I'm happy to say hello to Golf/9 Hotel 2 Alpha Sierra. Tony is a Limlek. Tony's in the UK at the moment with his brother. Thank you for joining the net here. And Tony was instrumental, especially on the first attempt that we tried, where unfortunately we got cancelled. Then he had to go abroad, but he was always with us online and in spirit, and we couldn't have done it without him as well. Back to you, net control. This is 9H-5TS.
Roger. Okay, thank you very much. Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for the time and also for the patience this evening, answering questions and giving us the information which we so desired. And I would like to thank everybody who has joined this net. Even I'm getting excited now. And of course, you are the people who make the net. It's not the net controller who makes the net, it is the people who join and participate in the net. I'm going to pause for a few seconds and then hand the microphone to Jerry for whatever he wants to say. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Microphone is yours.
Very good, Charlie. 9 Hotel 1 Fox Bravo Sugar with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. And this has been a very exciting net. And we have an exciting event coming up during the next net. And I wouldn't have brought it up in this net, but there's no net between now and then. So the next net is the 50th net for the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. And we're starting to plan something slightly different and exciting as well. And I think I should leave it in the capable hands of Anthony or Manuel. What we're trying to do here is simply this. Apart from holding the net, we're trying to promote ham radio throughout the local communities, throughout Malta and Gozo. That's the whole purpose. And obviously, you know, this event from yesterday paved the way to more information about ham radio into the community. So, Anthony, I don't know whether you're prepared for this or not. I can say some things, but you're a lot more organized than I am, at least today, because the horse hasn't made it in front of the cart yet. So I'll pass it back to net control, and then we'll see what. Actually, I'll pass it. Give a pause, Charlie, and see what Anthony has to say, and we'll take it from there. 9H1FBS and 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
Would you like to comment, Anthony? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, because I am abroad at the moment. Yes, this is Golf Stroke 9 Hotel 2 Alpha Sierra. Yeah, at the moment, I don't know, because sometimes I'm not going to be here in the late in the afternoon because I have to go to hospital with my brother. So I don't want to tell you, you know, when I'm if I go in or not. So I don't know yet. So, but if I got something to say later on, I will come in and I will tell one of you. Go ahead.
well, this is unfortunate. That was my mistake. I'm sorry about that, gents. But I wished to call 9H-5 Fox Alpha. I hope that your brother is getting better and that he will soon be in excellent health, Anthony. Would you like to comment about what Jerry was saying, Anthony? 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha, 9H1 FBS with the 9 Hotel, no, come on, 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Go ahead, Anthony.
This is Golf Stroke 9 Hotel 2 Alpha Sierra, Anthony. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's a very good idea, I think. Yeah, very good idea to stay contact with all the amateurs radio, you know, keep in touch, like, you know. Yeah, I think so. Good idea. Okay, controller, mic to you.
Okay. Anthony from G-Land, please stand by. I'm handing the microphone to Anthony, 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Please stand by. Don't worry, we'll get back to you soon. Take it away, Anthony.
This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha, net control. Thank you, and thank you, Jerry, for your QSO, for your message. Yeah. So, in a nutshell, today, fortnight, will be the 50th edition of the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. And for a few weeks, we've been planning something rather special. We haven't finalized yet, but what I can say is that we will have a net at the usual time, so 8 p.m. local Malta time, and that net will have something special about it, and there will be another activity just before the net. I will be promoting this and advertising this well in advance. So by today week, 1 week before, we plan to start promoting this and promoting exactly what the activity will be. We have collaboration of a lot of people on this activity. We have collaboration of both clubs in Malta, and we have also spoken to the Goto Club. And well, we hope to have a global activity which will help promote the ham amateur radio activity and ham radio hobby and across the Maltese Islands and across anyone who would like to listen. So I'm just stopping there till now. But by today week we hope to have everything public and promotion on Facebook and by the usual channels and mailing and whatever, and there'll be the full details over there. Thank you, Net Control, and I'd like to thank all those who are contributing to this activity, which we're planning for today fortnight. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
I don't know if it is prudent for Net Control to make a sly remark. Are you by any chance, we'll leave it at that, related to James Bond? Could be. He likes to keep his secrets, huh? Okay, so, okay, enough of that. Charlie, be good. Okay, is there anybody else who would like to make any remarks or questions? Please call Net Control, 9H1 FBS with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. And believe me, this has been the longest net I have heard so far, or participated in so far. And I really am enjoying it.
November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey with the last comment, then I'll shut up.
Yeah, you and I. Okay, go ahead, Jerry.
You know, Dennis was talking about the interest on ham radio on the Maltese Islands, and the presentation that they just got, and I know they're on Echolink every morning. And I was wondering, Dennis, whether it would be interesting to you and the club members to be a part of the next 9H-HAM GlobalNet by linking your local repeater to our net, and how you feel about that. It was just a thought, but I thought I'd throw it out, because after all, this is a global net, and everybody and anybody is welcome. And I think it would be a better celebration. The more, the merrier, so to speak. Back to net control, 9H, 1FBS, and 7APW.
It's a really good idea, man. Let's see if Dennis is still on. Would you like to answer Jerry? Dennis, go ahead.
This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. I'm afraid Dennis isn't appearing anymore on Echolink, so I guess he might have disconnected. Back to you, net control.
Well, okay, maybe somebody can find him on QRZ and we'll contact him via email. That would be a good idea. And I just didn't copy his repeater on the Echolink, so maybe somebody could send it to me by email, so as not to bog down the net with frivolous comments. This is 9H1FBS, standing by for any more remarks. Well, I think we should call it an evening. Just take the time before I close. We have been on for 1 hour and 32 minutes. We had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Including me, there were 10 check-ins today, which is very, very gratifying and very nice. I would like to thank you all for participating this evening. I am honored to host this net this evening. I was very, very happy that everything went well yesterday. And as my final comment, I would say best 73s to all. May you have a good weekend, and God willing, we'll meet again on the 2nd of, I think that is correct, on the 2nd of March at 1900 UTC, 2000 Central European Time, 1400 or 2 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time. So, with that, I wish you all the best of 73s, and I'm going to give a pause so that the repeaters will be now capable of handling the usual amateur radio traffic. 9H1FBS, thanking you all, best 73s to all. 9H1FBS is now closing down, not closing down, QRX for a few minutes.